In the summer of 1966, while England was engulfed in a football fever, the French national team arrived at the World Cup with high expectations and a generation of exceptionally talented players. It was a time when football hadn't been fully commercialized, a time when young men took to the field with pure pride, with a squad blending experience and youth, embodying a romantic yet risky attacking football philosophy. The Gallic Roosters that year, though unable to lift the prestigious gold trophy or advance beyond the grueling group stage, sowed seeds of regret and nostalgia in the hearts of fans. They were a team of strong personalities, true artists on the pitch, who laid the foundation for the transformation of French football in the decades that followed. But behind those fierce battles on the pitches of Wembley or White City lie players with their own unique destinies. More than half a century has passed, time like a silent but merciless river, sweeping away their youth and etching indelible marks on their lives. Some have become legends on the coaching bench, building new empires. Some have chosen to retire, living simple lives with their families. And some have had their journeys tragically cut short, leaving behind immeasurable sorrow. Today, let's journey back in time, looking back at the tumultuous path of the 22 musketeers who proudly donned the blue jersey in that English summer. Marcel Artellessa is more than just a center-back. He's a rock wearing the captain's armband, the most solid source of moral support for his teammates. At 27, with his sturdy build and calm demeanor, Artellessa provides absolute reassurance in the defense. He doesn't play with flair, but with diligence, precision, and the sense of responsibility of a construction worker, true to his profession. Artellessa's performance in England, however brief, fully demonstrated the qualities of an exemplary captain, always standing at the forefront against the relentless attacks of the opposition. Leaving the spotlight of the World Cup, Artellessa's career continued with prestigious clubs such as AS Monaco and Olympique Marseille. He is a symbol of resilience, a silent hero of French football in the 1960s. After retiring, Artellessa did not choose the glamorous path of media attention or the pressure of a professional coaching bench. He returned to ordinary life, working for the sports brand Adidas, and later for simple jobs in his hometown. Artellessa is a role model for a generation of players who played for passion, not money, a family man, always maintaining a respectable humility. His life unfolded peacefully, away from noisy scandals, just as he had played, reliable and discreet. The parallels between Marcel Artellessa's on-field role and real life are thought-provoking. On the field, he's a goalkeeper, shielding his teammates. Off the field, he's a solid pillar for his family, a reliable man. The image of the diligent builder from his youth has become ingrained in his destiny, helping him build a life that isn't glamorous but is full of discipline and self-respect. He's proof that fame doesn't necessarily have to be dazzling. Sometimes it shines through simplicity and sincerity. However, the journey of that dedicated captain came to an end. On September 23, 2016, Marcel Artellessa passed away at the age of 78 at his home. His passing was as peaceful as his life, but it left a huge void in the hearts of nostalgic French football fans. His legacy is not just the captain's armband from 1966, but a lesson in dedication and loyalty. Marcel Aubour, the 25-year-old goalkeeper for the French national team in 1966, embodied spontaneity and courage in goal. More than just the last line of defense, Aubour was an artist, with spectacular diving saves and sometimes daring maneuvers that kept viewers on the edge of their seats. With his free-spirited personality and ever-present smile, he brought optimism to the entire team. His 3 World Cup matches that year showcased his innate talent, even when conceding goals. He never once bowed his head. After the World Cup, Aubour's career continued to flourish at OGC Nice and then Stade de Reims. He became one of the most beloved goalkeepers in France, not only for his talent, but also for his humorous personality and penchant for teasing teammates and opponents. After retiring, Aubour didn't completely abandon football but chose a life of enjoyment in the south of France. He is known for his love of life, his fondness for pétanque, and his appreciation for simple pleasures. Aubour runs a hotel and restaurant business, where he often welcomes old friends and recounts glorious stories from the past with hearty laughter. There's a strange connection between Marcel Aubour's goalkeeping style and his life. On the field, he was an eccentric, colorful keeper. Off the field, he was a cheerful man who didn't let life's pressures weigh him down. The optimism he brought to his former teammates is also the attitude he chose for himself. always looking ahead with a smile, turning difficulties into light-hearted conversations at the dinner table. Today, at 83 years old, Marcel Aubours lives a peaceful and fulfilling life in Var. He has completely distanced himself from the hustle and bustle of modern football, dedicating his time to his family and playing pétanque with friends. Although his hair has turned white and his hands are no longer as nimble as they once were, the eyes of the former clown in goal still sparkle with joy, a living testament to a romantic era of football. Joseph Bonnel served as a perpetual motion machine in midfield. At 27, the Valenciennes player was a hard-working midfielder, unafraid of physical contact and always present in key areas of the pitch. Not flashy like attacking stars, Bonnel was a quiet hero, tirelessly recovering the ball and connecting the lines. His performance at the 1966 World Cup was a testament to his dedication, a diligent worker amidst a group of artists, always striving his best for his country. After the tournament, Bonnel's career took a brilliant turn when he moved to Olympique Marseille. There, he became a key player during the golden age of the Port City team, winning many domestic titles. After retiring from playing, Bonnel transitioned to coaching, leading Marseille and later smaller teams. He was a strict but dedicated mentor, inspiring generations of young players with his hard-earned experience. Bonnel's personal life was quite private. He was a man of work, always passionate about football even in the twilight of his life. The similarities between Joseph Bonnel on and off the pitch are striking. A tireless, all-out midfielder became a coach, a footballing enthusiast who dedicated himself to the sport until his last breath. He didn't seek fame, but rather effectiveness and genuine value in his work. Seriousness and responsibility were guiding principles throughout his playing career and his later life. However, the journey of this silent warrior came to an end. On February 13, 2018, Joseph Bonnel passed away at the age of 79. His passing left a deep sense of loss for the football community in southern France. He passed away as he had played, quietly, without fanfare, but leaving behind a solid legacy of love for his profession and unwavering dedication. Bernard Bosquier arrived at the 1966 World Cup at the young age of 23, a promising young hope in the defense. He possessed a modern, intelligent playing style, excellent situational awareness, and superb attacking prowess, qualities rarely seen in central defenders at the time. In the tournament, Bosquier played all 3 matches, demonstrating maturity beyond his years and promising to become a future leader of Les Bleus. He embodied the desire to prove himself, a breath of fresh air in a team undergoing a transition. After the World Cup, Bosquier truly rose to become one of the best defenders in the history of French football. He moved to Saint-Étienne and then Marseille, winning numerous French League and Cup titles. Bosquier is also famous for his controversial transfer from Saint-Étienne to their rivals Marseille, a bold move much like his playing style. After retiring, he became a sporting director, discovering young talents and continuing to contribute to football in a managerial role. He also runs a sportswear business and leads a prosperous and active life. The image of a dashing, decisive center-back on the pitch perfectly embodied Bosquier's life. He was a man of action, unafraid of challenges, and always wanted to be a leader. From his exquisite tackles to his bold business and management decisions, Bosquier consistently demonstrated the qualities of a true boss. And he perfectly balanced his football fame with business success, a model of a modern player ahead of his time. Today, at 81 years old, Bernard Bosquier still maintains an incredible level of fitness and sharp mind. He lives a peaceful but not boring life, frequently appearing in the media to offer insightful opinions on contemporary football. He is one of the few living witnesses of the 1966 generation who still follows the French national team's progress with the pride of a great senior figure. Robert Budzinski, or Bud, was a center-back with a masterful mind and technique. At the age of 26, he was a key player for FC Nantes, a team dominating French football with their famous jeu à la Nantaise style of play. At the 1966 World Cup, Budzinski brought elegance to the defense, a defensive style based on judgment rather than brute strength. He represented the beauty of intelligence in football, a gentleman in the back line. However, tragedy struck not long after. In 1968, a horrific leg fracture forced Budzinski to retire prematurely at the age of 28, when his career was at its peak. But when one door closed, another opened, and this is when the real legend began. Budzinski became the sporting director of FC Nantes and held this position for 35 years. He was the great architect behind Nantes' renowned youth academy, who discovered and nurtured a host of stars for French football such as Deschamps, Desailly, and Carambeu. He transformed the pain of his retirement into motivation to contribute to football in a different way, deeper and more enduring way. Budzinski's career is the most powerful testament to the triumph of intellect over adversity. On the field, he was a master of reading the game. In life, he was a visionary, planning the future of an entire club. He was a quiet, humble man with a great vision. His life was not filled with scandals, but with achievements stemming from tireless intellectual work. However, the journey of this great architect had to come to an end. On July 17, 2023, Robert Budzinski passed away at the age of 83. His passing is a tremendous loss not only for FC Nantes, but for French football as a whole. His legacy is not just about titles, but also about a football philosophy and a training system that has elevated French football on the world map. Jean Djorkaeff, nicknamed Chucky, and was a tenacious fullback. At 26, his Kalmyk and Polish heritage gave him a playing style that was both wild and aggressive, yet disciplined. In England in 1966, Djorkaeff played all 3 matches, always a reliable anchor on the flank, ready to surge forward to join the attack. He became a symbol of resilience and an unyielding fighting spirit. After the World Cup, Djorkaeff continued his illustrious career by becoming the first captain of Paris Saint-Germain, PSG, laying the foundation for the capital club. After retiring, he transitioned to coaching and held important positions in the French Cup. But perhaps his greatest legacy is his son, Yuri Djorkaeff, who continued his father's dream by winning the 1998 World Cup with the French national team. Jean lived an exemplary life, a strict but loving father who passed on his passion for football to the next generation. The connection between Jean Djorkaeff on and off the field is that of a pioneer and a trailblazer. On the field, he paved the way for attacking down the flanks. Off the field, he paved the way for his son's career and for the fledgling PSG club. He is the link between the past and the present, between the regrettable generation of 1966 and the glorious generation of 1998. Today, at 84 years old, Jean Djorkaeff remains healthy and frequently appears at football events. He is a respected veteran, a living witness to history. His greatest happiness now is seeing his legacy carried on, not only through his son, but also through generations of grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and through the brilliant development of French football that he helped to foster. Philippe Gondé arrived at the 1966 World Cup as France's most feared striker, having just scored 36 goals in a single Ligue 1 season, a record that stood for decades. At 24, Gondé was the #1 hope in attack with his innate goal-scoring ability, diverse finishing skills, and keen sense in the penalty area. However, in England, injuries and tight marking prevented him from shining as expected. Nevertheless, the image of a flamboyant Nantes striker remains etched in the minds of fans. After the tournament, Gondé's career was ravaged by persistent knee injuries. He never regained the peak form he had shown in the magical 1965 to 1966 season. He drifted through several smaller clubs before retiring. Away from the pitch, Gondé chose a quiet life, away from the media. He worked in the wine and computer businesses, living a modest life in Nantes. He rarely spoke of his glorious past, accepting reality with the composure of someone who had experienced both glory and bitterness. Gondé's story is a somber tale of a talent crushed by injury. On the field, he was a shining star, but off the field, he had to learn to accept the cruelty of fate. However, the elegance of his playing style is still evident in how he faced life. Gently, without resentment, he found joy in simple things, instead of dwelling on what he had lost. However, the journey of this renowned shooter came to an end. On January 21, 2018, Philippe Gondé passed away at the age of 75. His death shocked Nantes fans and French football. Despite a short but glorious career, Philippe Gondé's name will forever remain a legend, an icon of the fragile yet brilliant beauty of attacking football. Gerard Hauser, the talented 27-year-old left winger, was one of France's few bright spots at the 1966 World Cup. He scored the consolation goal against the mighty England at Wembley. With his speed, technique, and skillful left foot, Hauser brought unpredictability and romance to attacking moves. He played with the passion of a son of Alsace, always giving his all. After the World Cup, Hauser became a legend of Strasbourg and later Metz. He was not only a great player but also a brilliant manager. After retiring from playing, he joined the Strasbourg board, even serving as the club's president. Beyond football, Hauser was also very successful in the sportswear business with his Puma brand in France. He was a dynamic, sharp individual who knew how to translate his football fame into business success. Gerard Hauser's career and life are a straight upward trajectory of hard work and intelligence. On the field, he knew how to find the net. Off the field, he knew how to find his way to business success. He is a role model of achievement, balancing passion and career, past glory and present reality. Today, at the age of 84, Gerard Hauser is enjoying a fulfilling old age. He remains closely connected to Alsace football and is frequently invited to celebratory events. He is a source of pride for the people of Strasbourg, a living testament to the fact that footballers can absolutely become successful entrepreneurs. Yves Herbe was the youngest member of the French national team at the 1966 World Cup at just 20 years old. Despite his young age, he earned the trust to start 2 matches thanks to his technical skill, intelligence, and sharp creative abilities. Herbert represented the young blood and the future of French football at that time. His performances, while not enough to change the course of the game, showed the potential of a future playmaker. After the tournament, Herbert had an exciting nomadic career playing for several prestigious clubs, such as Anderlecht, Belgium, Red Star, and Reims. After retiring, he embarked on a coaching career and became a true football missionary. He coached many small teams in France and, especially, national teams in far-flung places like Bahrain and Morocco. He dedicated his life to traveling and teaching football, spreading his love of the sport far and wide. Yves Herbe's life was like his passes on the football field, always moving forward and connecting people. He didn't choose a life of ease, but instead sought new challenges in new lands. His desire to contribute and his passion for travel created a colorful life for this talented former midfielder. Today, at the age of 78, Yves Herbe has retired but still keeps a close eye on the world of football. He lives a peaceful life, rich in experience, with a treasure trove of football stories from all 5 continents. His journey is a hymn to pure, boundless passion. Robert Herbin, with his distinctive red hair and nickname Le Sphinx, the Sphinx, was one of the greatest minds in French football. At the 1966 World Cup, at the age of 27, he played 2 matches, demonstrating exceptional versatility and tactical thinking. Herbin played not only with his feet but also with his head, always calmly analyzing and controlling the game. He was the heart and soul of Saint-Étienne and the French national team's style of play. However, his playing career was just the beginning for the legend Robert Herbin. After retiring, he became the head coach of Saint-Étienne at the young age of 33. It was Herbin who created the legendary Green Devils, Les Verts, a team that dominated French football and shook Europe in the 1970s. He was a cool, mysterious, yet incredibly talented strategist. His personal life was also private and somewhat solitary. He lived alone in an isolated house, befriending his dogs and immersing himself in classical music and wine. The contrast between the noise of the stadium and the quietude of Herbin's private life is striking. On the field, he commands an army. At home, he chooses solitude. He is a philosopher of football, a man who has spent his life contemplating the game. The mystery of the Sphinx follows him from the pitch into his everyday life, creating an irresistible allure. However, the journey of this legendary strategist came to an end. On April 27, 2020, Robert Herbin passed away at the age of 81 due to heart failure and lung problems. His passing marked the end of a golden era for Saint-Étienne. He departed peacefully, just as he had lived, leaving behind a vast legacy and a deep sense of loss for millions of fans of the blue jersey. Jacques Simon, The 25-year-old Nantes midfielder was a true artist with skillful footwork and a keen tactical awareness. He was a vital part of Jeux à la Nantaise, and bringing fluidity and grace to the French team's play at the 1966 World Cup. Although he only played in 2 matches, Simon's exquisite ball control always amazed viewers. He was the kind of player who played football for the joy of it. After the World Cup, Simon moved to Bordeaux and continued to play at the highest level for many more years. After retiring, he chose a life away from the hustle and bustle of professional football. He returned to his hometown, enjoying a peaceful life with his family and personal hobbies. Simon is a humble person, rarely appearing in the press, maintaining a peaceful private space for himself. Jacques Simon's life was as gentle as his playing style. Without fanfare or conflict, he glided through life with serenity. He found happiness in simplicity, rather than chasing fleeting fame. However, that peaceful journey came to an end. On December 5, 2017, Jacques Simon passed away at the age of 76. His passing was as gentle as a breeze, but it left a deep sense of loss for those who loved beautiful football. He will forever remain a part of the beautiful memories of a romantic era of football. Nestor Combin, nicknamed La Foudre, the Lightning, is a remarkable story. Born in Argentina, Combin became a French citizen and brought to the 1966 World Cup a fearsome display of strength, speed, and dribbling ability. At 25, he was a dangerous striker, and although he only played 1 match, his talent was undeniable. He embodied the blend of cultures and the power of South America in the blue jersey. Combin's career was later closely associated with Italian football, playing for Juventus, Torino, and AC Milan. He is famous for the tragedy at the 1969 Intercontinental Cup, when he was brutally beaten on the pitch by Estudiantes players, resulting in facial disfigurement. One of the darkest chapters in football history. Overcoming that physical and mental pain, Combin continued to play and contribute. After retiring, he settled in France, living a quiet life and rarely speaking about the painful memories of the past. Combin's life is an action movie, full of glory and bitterness. On the field, he is an unyielding warrior. Off the field, he is a survivor of unsportsmanlike violence. Combin's resilience is a lesson in the will to survive. He chose to forgive and forget the past, to live peacefully in the present. Today, at the age of 83, Nestor Combin is living a peaceful old age in Montpellier. He has shed his lightning bolt image to become a gentle old man, enjoying time with his children and grandchildren, leaving behind the storms of his turbulent youth.